Hey everybody, it's Ed, just jumping in before the episode. Unfortunately, we had a bunch of stuff go wrong. We had some technical issues, which meant we lost an episode, and then Torben got sick, so we couldn't re-record. Just a whole mess of stuff. But basically, there's going to be no new episode this week, but there will be one next week. And to make it up to you, we got 2 episodes of RPG horror stories. The first one with Tom and I, which is also filmed, and you can see that on YouTube. And then the second one with Rachel and Tom and Joel. Super producer Joel gets on the mic for this one. They're both super fun, super funny, so hope you enjoy them. And let us know if you like them, and we'll keep doing more of them. All right, thanks, and enjoy the episode. Bye.
Wait, why is my Geiger counter going off?
Yeah, there's a great Reddit story about radioactivity, but that's not what we're here for.
Anyway, you guys ready? I'll do the intro.
I'm on the track already.
Hello. Welcome back to RPG Horror Stories with the friggin' crew.
Ooh, I'm so most scared.
Of us. Yeah, we got Tom Jarvis on the horn.
It's me.
We
and
got
my horn.
You got how many horns you got?
4 at the moment. I'm
4?
collecting 1 per episode.
And we got Richard Anastasi on the pod. How many horns you got?
None.
None. You yet to acquire your first horn.
I've got that ear horn. Huh?
Wow.
That's a reference to the other. Yeah.
Put an air horn in there.
No, ear.
And we got friggin' super producer Joel on the horn.
Oh my god.
And I'll tell you, I've got a foghorn.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I am responsible for all of those, sound drops in movie trailers.
All of them?
Yeah,
all of them. Wow.
Yeah, when they need a wow, they got to pay up the money.
You're rich as hell.
Oh, he's like the boxing announcer whose sound I can't make without copyright infringement. You know the one I mean.
Please don't.
I didn't.
Don't. I have a lot of money, but I don't have that much money.
I don't have copyright infringement money.
Bruce Buffer or whatever his name is.
I don't know his name either.
You got that foghorn cash.
Yeah.
You can barely see it.
Is that shipping money? Big shipping?
Drop ship.
Yeah, big shipping.
Big shipping.
I'll go with this.
It's like Big Pharma. They're trying to screw us out of our commercial products.
Big Pharma. What a dystopia. A horror, if you will. Speaking of horror stories, I got some RPG horror stories for you guys. Pulled straight off the subreddit. You guessed it. RPG horror stories.
Whoa! Can I just say that when you put this in our chat saying let's do some RPG horror stories.
Yeah.
Not because Torben's too sickly and feeble to come here.
Although he's
frail.
He's a frail man.
Convalescent. He's got consumption.
Nice. Coughing into a handkerchief.
Blood.
Yeah. When you said that, I thought, okay. I guess Zed last minute is going to put together like a campaign horror.
No.
Do you remember that other time that he recorded in your apartment and did RPG horror stories?
Is that what you called it?
I don't know.
Hey.
Tom, you were here. Do you remember?
I was going to say, this could go poorly enough that it could become a horror story.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
true.
Like, there's still the opportunity.
What a segue.
I know.
Speaking of things going poorly, so I got some wonderful people on Reddit who love to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they also love to be terrible people.
Great
That's my
combination.
favorite combo too.
And the people writing on RPG horror stories are talking about these people. So let's kick things off with a post by upartyart3162.
Whoa.
This one's titled DM deliberately TPK's party to show off his special homebrew monster. That was pretty cool. Now, Yeah,
For the listeners at home, TPK
it
is...
stands for total party kill. So
Oh,
they all
my
died.
word.
I love these stories where the DMs just try and like flex on their party by killing them all for
So
like
awesome.
Luckily-
barely any reason.
Luckily, our DM is benevolent.
Oh, he's kind. He's so
Yeah,
kind.
for now. Maybe I'll get
Mercy.
inspired.
By the horror stories.
God.
Yeah, I am a believer that the human imagination is merely a dispersory for the font of information ingested into it. And maybe by ingesting all of these terrible, terrible stories, I will spew forth some terrible, terrible D&D.
Holy shit, that was immaculately said. It was beautiful. It's like,
Can't wait to
Sad.
see
I'm
how much
very
of that was
saddened.
edited.
Cuts out every second word.
Zed's been entirely EDR.
Yeah. So let's get into this first one. I play and DM occasionally on a large West Marches style server with multiple DMs. Last night, I had my first ever truly terrible DM. Everyone in the server is different levels, and games are usually aimed at a specific tier. However, you can temporarily level your character down if you want to. He posts a game for characters level 8 to 10 and has several of us who are higher level drop down to 10. It's categorized as medium to hard. I don't have the stat block, but at a minimum, his little homebrew would have needed much higher level of characters for the party to even stand a chance. From what I gathered from the encounters, and now he lists all of the abilities that
The
this monster
stats.
has
Yeah, go on.
that he was able to glean. Was immune to all damage except for fire. So
Okay.
right off the bat, it's pretty hard. It's pretty intense.
So anyone without like fire-based magic is
just
out.
useless. Yeah.
Cool.
Healed from cold magic. Any non-magical damage was automatically reflected back on whomever dealt it. Had multiple reactions around. Melee attacks did an average of 40 points of radiant damage, with legendary actions dealing 40 to 70 points and 100-foot AoE, 120-foot AoE, with a DC 20 or 21 dex save. Was immune to at least prone and incapacitated. Could automatically choose to reflect all spells back onto the caster. Again, no save needed. AC of 23. It could teleport farther than anyone could run multiple times around, so running away was not possible. And
Is this Jason Voorhees?
yo, is this freaking Bradley Pitt? And worst, whenever somebody came up with a clever solution like the Iron Bands of Belaro, I don't know what that is, assume it's a magic item.
Unbelievable.
He declared it was immune to them.
Oh, come on.
Oh my god.
And any of the details on the map, he just said that was a mistake when they tried to get cover behind it.
Oh my god.
I finally decided enough was enough, called him out on running a blatantly unbalanced fight, and left. Apparently, he tried to claim that the stat block was only CR12. Now, CR12 is not very high.
No. What level were they again?
They were level 8, I think.
Right. So CR12 is already like
Yeah,
Too
CR12
high.
is already pretty high,
It's a
depending
top
on
fight.
how many of them there were. But like,
I'm
we'll assume maybe
also
4 or 5.
pretty sure like half of that stat block is just straight up ripped from a Tarrasque. Like the spell reflecting thing.
That's the thing.
the,
Yeah,
like total damage immunity.
famously the most one of the hardest monsters in D&D. But that alone, immune to all damage is pretty strong. It being impossible to run away from is pretty strong. And then also, yeah, it just reflects everything back at everyone. So, that's pretty. How would you guys react if I just
If you
threw
gave us that?
Yeah, just a monster that was just unkillable.
I think
Just if you wanted to end the podcast, Zed, you could just tell us. I don't like this pass ag approach. It's a little bit rude.
It's so funny because I feel like it's a trope in like D&D where like DMs use it as like a power fantasy for themselves.
Oh God, yeah.
And it just like I imagine that this monster was, you know, like if I had this monster, I would call it like
It's just
Zedius.
Yeah.
More.
It's your DM NPC.
Yeah.
It's just an unkillable monster. It's like, you are an unkillable monster though, so it works.
That's true. I am.
That's pretty
I'm
flattering.
certainly a monster.
Well, to be fair, your character inserts aren't unkillable. They're just super hot.
Yeah.
This is true.
Oh,
yeah.
But
What are you
everybody's
saying there about it? Is it like
everybody's power fantasy is different, you know.
And you're just desperate to be hot.
I would kill to be hot.
No, you can't turn down his charm.
Irresistible.
Charisma 20. That's like all of my player characters are usually that's
Really high charisma.
they're either really hot or they're goblins. That's the two.
Oh no, but
Excuse
even
me?
the goblins are
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
described as
D-
being really hot.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so they're always really hot. Yeah, you got me. They're
Oh,
always really
Ratman
hot.
is not hot.
How
Ratman.
dare you say that?
Yeah,
Wait,
what the
is
fuck?
Ratman your
oh.
DM NPC? Is that your self-insert? Is the rat
Well,
guy who lost
you're
all
not
his
that
kids?
bad.
I don't know if you noticed, but I like really like you guys. I left him behind at the first town you guys came across. It's because he
really
wasn't
like
hot
that guy.
enough.
Oh yeah, that checks out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But to be fair, we know he wasn't because I think you described him as being a disgusting little rat man. Like,
yeah,
I
was
refuse
that
to
not
believe
him?
it.
yeah. I hated
All
that
right.
NPC.
I can't perceive any of your NPCs as anything less than hot. I'm so like conditioned, I guess.
yeah.
To your
Brainwashed.
descriptions. Yeah, brainwashed. Completely
You've just
brainwashed.
heard me describe NPCs and PCs as hot for so long.
What's the name of the bartender again?
Oh, Brian.
Is Brian hot?
Yeah, I mean he's tall.
That is hot.
Yeah.
Intrinsically.
Height.
Yeah.
Height is hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just need to be tall.
mead all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
you got a
tall
point
Jack.
there.
He's got a
Does that
jester's
make
hat.
him
So
high-
he's
like,
funny.
taller?
Yeah. So he's tall, funny,
When you
and
need to like reach high shelves.
strong arms, and that's it. Maybe glutes. You know, if you have to lift those kegs. Yeah. What was Oh, he's got a cool name. The guy from the. Nope. The one I'm thinking of, we left him in his tent. The with the milk.
Oh.
got
Yeah,
an L.
Lanley Boxhorn.
Lanley, yes. Was Lanley hot?
Yeah, they're all hot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
Okay.
that's
So
just
why
the
am I even
baseline.
asking?
Yeah.
They are. If
They're
we
all-
don't have a descriptor, we
they're all
know they're
tense.
hot. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so if I'm reading this right, every NPC character we come across is a Z insert?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Unless they're ugly. If they're described quite explicitly as being ugly, it's because Zed hates them and wants nothing to do with them.
Yeah, exactly. I regret putting them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They die immediately.
The old,
Yeah.
the old guy selling milk that was more or less flirting with Bradicus. Hot.
So hot.
Now, before we move on to the next one, I just want to ask, what would I want to go around and just find out what everybody would do in this situation if you were part of this game.
Well, I mean, I had something I just want to say, like, taking a step back from that. As a DM, I think there's maybe something that most DMs feel is the desire to cause a TPK at some point, right? Like, there's kind of an intrinsic want to throw something impossible or see what would happen with a really difficult challenge. But
Is it
I think,
experimental or world burning?
I think the key is to have a plan for if that happens,
Yeah.
so that you're not like screwing over the story or the people playing the game by
Right.
doing that.
That's a good point because balancing is probably one of the hardest parts of, you know, the game because it's like there's not a super easy way to do it. And you do just kind of have to get a feel for it. But you also want you always want there to be a threat of death so that it's exciting and challenging. And so, you know, sometimes that you do just take it too far. And yeah, it is good to have a backup
If it's
plan.
good for the story as well, I think a TPK can actually be, you know, a really interesting story point.
It's kind of sick.
But yeah, I think I really like the idea of creating a really elaborate and story meaningful TPK. I think those are good.
Oh, well, that's what you did.
It's what I tried to pull off in my last campaign.
That was the finale, like at the end of the campaign that you ran.
I think it's fun.
That was incredible.
I love the
actually.
ideas of self-sacrifice. I think it's great. And yeah, the having an actual like a threat of death is key to keeping D&D interesting. Like you can't have the players believing themselves immortal, or they'll do all sorts of crazy.
So
Coming
This
from
is
the
a
guy with
long-
the character who's nearly died twice.
This sounds like a long way to say you think this guy fucks.
Yeah.
You think this guy's kind
I
of
think this guy's in the right. No.
So it does
I
kind of read as less experienced or lazy to an extent.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm going to give them all these abilities and I don't give a fuck about how my party members cope, you know?
Well, yeah, it seems like the intention was never for them to beat it. Like,
Yeah.
even in all the situations where they described having something really unique to solve the problem, like taking
Yeah.
cover when it uses breath attack, or trying to use some crazy magic items or magic spells
Yeah.
to deal with the problem, and the DM just kind of hand waving it away and being
He's
like,
like,
no, you
"La,
can't
la,
do
la."
that.
I mean,
The intention was never for them to win, and I think that's okay if you make it clear as a DM that that's the purpose of the situation. The situation is for them not to win, and then give them something else later instead, like a reason why they can't win, and maybe a redemption later.
yeah, like you can very much arc with it, but you
Yeah.
have to
It needs to be
really have
clear.
prepared for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if you know people are lowering down their level to participate in your campaign or your one shot or whatever this is, right, then it's kind of baiting people into being in that situation
Yeah.
where they're all going to perish.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's some cool stories that come from that. Like,
Yeah.
I really like Rogue One, for example, and all your main characters die in that one. Spoilers, I guess.
But I mean, if the
but it's gotta
question
be
was
clear.
like, yeah, it does. But if the question was, how would we handle? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I just, again, being the relative
Tom would
noob.
just applaud and say, "Well
Honestly, brother!
Well done, that hot monster.
Another one!
and tears in your eyes. It's like 20 minutes into a session. It's like the middle of a campaign.
Everyone else is really upset.
It's like not climactically good at all.
I'm just like, I knew this moment would come.
I think the
prepared the
craziest...
party, like those little poppers, like
Oh, yeah, like a little
streamers.
streamer,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like, because I don't know what's possible or not. Like, if you, say Silken Web develops fire magic at the next level or something, or gains that ability, can you attack someone with fire magic from within shield?
Shield's just a very quick, like split second
Yeah,
reaction.
it
Also,
just
you do
gives you a
have
little
fire
buff for a
magic. You used it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's been some time. I didn't have to use it lately.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, shall we move on to the next? Joel, do you have any final words to say on that?
So
Before we move
okay,
on?
so I think this DM does not sound like they're in the right with the hand waving stuff, but I do see, if I may add on to maybe this guy fucks, is
Secretly.
The this guy fucks theory. Go on.
yeah.
I think he doesn't.
so-
Anyway, go on.
I think there's a certain thing where, like, because I'm someone who wants people to have like a good time experience. I'm not a DM, but I do like the idea of people experiencing like something amazing, right? And I think there's this thing of coming from like a narrative perspective of like, you watch like shows and movies where there is an insurmountable thing. It's like, if they can figure out the one weakness,
Yeah.
it's really satisfying, which
Yeah.
works in like a mainstream media perspective, but maybe not in D&D.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it depends how much attacks. Anyway, how many hits these players can take. right? Because you can creatively like plot together and like come up with stuff to do, right? But if you're just getting like beaten down everything you do, and the DM's being like, "Oh, that plausible thing that you could have done, no, I forgot to say you can't do that."
Well, so the average, I'd say the average HP for a level 10 is about 60. So they would get one hit taken out by this monster, all of them, with a 120 foot cone. It could easily, probably, in one turn.
Aren't they level 8?
Yeah.
Aren't they level 8?
Oh, well, yeah, even less. Yeah. But I think we should move on. But before we do, and I like the idea of doing this for all of them, I think we should vote on whether this guy fucks or not.
Oh, I say no.
I
does
personally,
not.
I think this guy doesn't fuck.
No.
I think he's so close to being a guy that fucks.
Yeah.
I would agree with
But
that.
you got it. This
Yeah.
is a binary system.
Yeah, I can't say he does, just because, you know, there's got to be, if you're going to do a TBK, there's got to be intent behind it or a good, like, payoff to it.
Hell yeah.
And it
Exactly.
just sounds like he just threw something, an insurmountable challenge, as you said.
Yeah.
Without, like, D&D is ultimately about, you know, giving the players a cool power fantasy and doing some crazy shit. And if you want to take them down a peg, you got to give them a reason or, like, something to bring them back up again, a vengeance or a redemption. And making it a challenge rating 12 monster is insane.
Yeah.
So you're saying this guy does not fuck?
He does not.
So we got
fuck, no.
3. This guy does not fuck. Joel,
I'm
you're
gonna
the-
say it depends. So I think
that's not the.
No.
I'm going to go by Tom's logic.
Okay.
So if this person came in and said, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you guys over," then that's okay, and then he fucks. But if he didn't tell them he was gonna fuck them over, no fucking.
He's leading them on.
Not a single fuck.
Yeah.
Leading his party on.
If you say you're going to be an asshole, that absolves you from everything. We all know
true.
this.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
exactly
that's fair.
right.
Yeah. I have
You just
pulled
have-
that card myself before.
You just need to have, like, the precedent.
Well, the consensus overall is that this guy doesn't fuck,
But he could.
but he could.
Has the potential to.
He has
Potential
the
to fuck.
potential.
All right, moving on to our second RPG horror story. This one is titled "My Wife, the Problem Player."
Was it emphasized that way?
Yeah, problem player is capitalized.
Oh,
I love my wife dearly.
that's a good start.
I've gamed with her for years and run as her DM for years. Mostly Pathfinder 3.5 and VTM.
Whoa.
I've never had this problem with her, and I don't understand why it's happening now. I have a 5e module I'm running. I'm running her and many of our friends through. My wife hates 5e. That's it. My wife hates 5e.
That might be the
She
problem.
could talk for
suspected.
that's our first clue.
Red flag.
She could talk for days on how it's a terrible system, but we don't know. We're a 5e house, 5e podcast here. We don't
Yeah.
go for this.
Yeah,
slander.
get out of here with this Pathfinder shit.
But she, but she wanted to support my first time running this system, and so I let her make up a character. She's been playing with another group for about a year, so I thought maybe she'd softened a bit. Well, I thought session 0 went well until my wife cornered me in the bathroom to tell me I was wrong.
It's like one of us following you into the loo here and being like, Zed, pull your pants up. This is terrible.
That's so funny. She didn't like how our friends were playing, and there was an item she felt entitled to because of her class, but nobody gave it to her. She didn't ask for it either. She's just expecting them to hand it over.
Okay.
Well, I went to bed feeling pretty shit. I felt a lot better though when I woke up to 27 text messages from our friends thanking me and telling me I did a great job. I showed them to her, but she didn't have much to say.
Okay.
Just silently eating a cereal.
It's a very
glaring.
I feel like that wasn't the move, my guy.
Yeah.
Look, everyone else thought this was great. You're in the wrong here.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty long post, but I think that's the most funny parts. But I'll skip to the end. she just went on and on about how they were all children and didn't play the game right, and they didn't accept her as default party leader, and they should. Then got up and gave me a flippant, "Oh, I didn't mean to shit on everything," and just left me nearly in tears. So that's where I am today.
I think she meant to shit on nearly everything.
This is insane.
So how do we feel about this problem player wife who really hates D&D
It
5e?
seems insane to like go from disliking the system to being actively opposed to everybody else's participation of it, right?
Yeah, she seems like actively hostile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This isn't I don't like 5e, and this is I hate everything about this.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm imagining her just sitting at the table the whole time, just like clenched so tight, just like,
You're doing it wrong! Yeah.
Is it because the other systems force you to play?
A certain way?
Yeah.
so like Pathfinder is an alternative to D&D that is kind of an answer to a lot of the criticisms of D&D, which is that it's like basically Pathfinder gives you a bit more customization with like character building, and like the combat system is refined in like a different way. It's pretty similar to D&D though. Like the games structurally are like Pathfinder is kind of like a Pepsi to Coke, if that makes sense.
Okay, so what's
It's also
Vampire
a
the
bit more-
Masquerade like relative to D&D and Pathfinder?
It's like Fanta, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just another flavor of fizz.
Yeah, like it's a pretty similar TTRPG, and it's based off like similar kind of classes and stuff like that, but
I
it's
think-
kind of more modern.
Before I can make a judgment on how she acted in this in this session 0.
I'd just like to say, as a DM, it's actually pretty cool when people give you the shit you want.
She's actually really cool. I wanna
And
know-
hot.
It's so hot. This guy's wife is so hot.
This guy's unpictured wife.
No, I think like the question I have is she like this with Pathfinder? Like, is she kind of expecting to be the party lead in Pathfinder, or people to give her magic items in Pathfinder, or is it she doesn't like 5e to the extent that she's willing to be just a shit player to stop the game from happening?
The impression that I got is that, because like he said that he knew that she really hated D&D, but it's just never been a problem because they just play Pathfinder, and that like it seems like she's just great to play with, like that they played years of Pathfinder, that she's been great, and then all of a sudden they play D&D once, and she like freaks out.
Visceral reaction.
I have a few things. So one of them was, is there a DM in Pathfinder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this guy was the DM.
Okay, so he's DMing that game, so she's theoretically fine with him as a DM.
Yeah.
And then she'd been playing D&D for a year.
Pathfinder. She'd been playing Pathfinder for a year.
Oh, Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a Pathfinder player, and this was the first time they played 5e, which
Okay.
is
Yeah.
So
D&D.
she's got opinions about it and hasn't actually played it. And it's not about
She's probably
him being
played
a
it in
DM.
the past or something, I think.
Yeah.
But
So something-
knows something's
Something's given her a bad taste, right, about it. And so any contact she has with it now is just tainted, presumably by that experience in theory, right? It's like when you
Interesting.
make up your mind about something being shit and nothing can change your mind about it. She's in that vibe, in that mood, right?
It's like when there's somebody that you don't like for some reason, and then every little thing that you would normally
Yeah.
accept from other people, you're like, I can't believe the way they're eating their fucking cake.
Yeah, I do that. I do that.
Sure.
I will hate on people. It takes me, if I decide immediately that I hate someone for whatever reason, even if I don't know what it is, it takes me a long time getting to know them to be like, all right, you're okay then. But
Yeah.
she's not giving D&D that grace. Nay.
But also just the demanding to be party leader as well.
Well, here's the thing, like,
But
let's
without
just like,
demanding it, right?
Yeah,
Want
right.
just wanting to be
Right,
given.
yeah.
Bestowed.
Demanding it from the DM in the bathroom.
Listen, husband.
New rule, like, custom rule.
Yeah, you don't get laid unless I get party leader.
That's the thing. I think we should go through her crimes because she
Yes, let's.
she like
Dispense justice.
she like rips him out in the bathroom. She's like, complaining. She complains about not getting the item, but even though she didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of sympathize. I get that when sometimes the DM will kind of put forward an item that's probably, it seems like it's probably supposed to go to a particular player,
Right, yeah.
Like the great sword is probably not meant for the wizard, it's probably meant for the fighter.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the situation, but I also like to think that it was like a class ambiguous item, and she just really wanted it.
What's an example of a class ambiguous item?
There are a lot of wondrous items like like a bag of holding
Or a cloak of invisibility.
Oh,
Anyone can use that to good effect.
Yeah.
Is there anything that would that screams, "I'm a leader because I have it"?
Not at all.
So what is she on?
I have no idea.
Is there an update? I love updates.
There actually was an edit, but there was a. I'm pretty sure.
It was Ed, I fired
She's
my wife.
banned, yeah.
Oh, I should
She must
read.
leave the home
She
and
got
the bathroom
fired?
forever.
She got fired.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lost her internship.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
That is why I asked.
So update 1. I tried
divorced.
talking to her. I was worried something was going on I didn't know about. She says there's not and doesn't understand why I'm upset with what she said and how she said it and thinks I'm being ridiculous. So it's not going well, guys. Edit 2. Final update.
Oh my god.
I woke up this morning to hear her loudly shit-talking the game to her Discord friends in the main room. Imagine your wife just in the lounge, just shit-talking you on Discord.
God, I hate this game.
Sure. Yeah, he's a DM.
I mean,
he can
it would
just
be
kill
the
her off.
equivalent of your partner being like, I listened to this deadbeat Dungeons and Dragons bullshit that they're doing. Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's awful.
Shit. Ew.
it's absolute dog shit. Yeah, I think he went over and asked what she wanted to oh wait here. Oh, rather than get mad, I waited till her conversation was over and went and asked what she wanted to do. She said she should give it more than just session 0, but because everyone else was chaotic alignment, she wanted to leave. She still insists nothing else is going on, but she's out of the game, so that's that. Well, like a happy ending.
How
Yeah.
good, huh? Well, okay, that's such a weird ending because I was convinced from the moment you read that initial premise of that this was like a sabotage thing, that she was gonna play because she's clearly like a good an amiable enough player that this hasn't been a problem in the past.
Yeah.
But she clearly, something about 5 years caused her to go a little ballistic. And I think it seemed like it was sabotage. Like she wanted to be the problem player to kill this game before it took off. And then go back to doing good old Pathfinder. But the fact that she just left means that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it was sabotage. It just feels like...
I think it could still be. She was
Maybe,
sabotaging
yeah.
herself, right?
But you could just
maybe
choose
she wanted
not
to
to
show,
play.
yeah. But she could have been showing willing. But okay, I'll give this a try. But again, she's got that hard hate that she's already decided on.
But if you just if you're that upset about it, and you knew you were going to be that upset about it, you could just choose not to play. Like, this seems like she was making a bigger deal of it because she wanted the whole thing to be over for everyone.
I mean, it depends if there was a substitution. If the Pathfinder campaign ended, then that's home time with husband and friends, right? And she'd be missing out on that, and she'd be getting FOMO. Probably by sitting around watching them do something that she can't participate in.
I think if we're going to extrapolate down that route, I think it's that the campaign was over, And then there was the option of, well, what do we do next? And she put forward, how about we do this one?
And
I was
they
like,
went,
well, we
"Nah."
could do that, but let's do this 5e stuff.
And she's like, fucking 5e.
That's good.
Ew.
I like this
Yeah.
theory. This
Well-
is good theory.
Shall we wrap up this story by deciding whether or not this guy fucks?
Well, I mean, technically he must, right?
Well,
Unless,
wait,
and then
I
again,
mean, I
by
don't
this
know.
guy, do we mean the wife?
I think we.
yeah, who's this guy? Is
I
this
think
the DM or the
we're,
wife?
we're talking about the subject, so the wife.
The wife.
And it sounds like I don't know if anybody's fucking in this marriage anymore. I feel like it's probably.
She got what she wanted by getting out of that game, so yes, she does.
Weird. He posted another update. D&D ruined my marriage.
That's on our relationships.
yeah.
That's on today I fucked up.
She's fucking this Pathfinder Chad.
Oh, yeah, that's the goss.
Yeah.
It sounds like sabotage, and I will not stand anyone sabotaging my precious Dungeons and Dragons.
Is it unsexy?
Yeah, I hate Pathfinder like she hates D&D.
Wow.
Oh, really?
No, not really. But I've never played it, and I feel
No,
like
neither.
I'm obligated to as a D&D player. I feel like there's kind of like a feud between Pathfinder players and D&D players. People tend to swear by one or the other.
Yeah. It does seem like a cool system, but heck if I'm ever gonna find out.
Yeah, right on.
You're too busy with D&D 5e, am I right?
But yeah, I think I'm gonna lock in. I don't think she fucks because I think they're sleeping in separate rooms. I think that
cold.
this is an icy like the like Icewind Dale cold marriage.
My oh my.
All right, Joel, your take?
Definitely no fucking.
No fucking.
Oh,
Not a
50-50.
single fucks.
No, and
Wow.
I believe
Wait, were you
that's
in no
it.
fucks?
I was a no fuck.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was 3 versus 1
I
then.
believe it's
Sorry.
no fucks before
I hear.
this campaign started.
Yeah.
This is just one of the ever ongoing things, but also everything's fine.
Everything's
Everything's
fine.
fine. It's fine. And
Is that our final judgment? Everything's fine.
everything's
fine.
fine. Moving on to our
don't wanna talk about it.
final horror story.
Okay.
This one is titled "Low Charisma Equals Bad Person," which personally I agree. With.
You're already locking in this guy
interesting.
fucks.
Yeah, this guy fucks for sure. So this is a shorter one. I once joined a campaign as a monk. I was still new to D&D, so I dumped charisma to 8. Absolutely terrible decision, but yeah. Soon after the game started, every NPC for some reason hated my guts. Even a simple hello was responded to aggressively. Sometimes I would sit without saying anything and still get shit on. Another player noticed this at some point too. Oh god, these are always written so badly. Another player noticed this at some point too. He advised me to talk to the DM. Another player noticed this and advised me to talk to the DM. When speaking to them, they said it was because of my low charisma stat. I asked the other player if that's the case, and he said that was stupid. I talked to the DM again, but he refused to change his behavior, so I left. I mean, I don't see any problems with that, you know? Low charisma equals ugly equals, people hate you.
I love the idea of having a low stat and just being despised for it. Like every person you meet absolutely hates you.
It's pretty funny.
People that aren't like, they don't captivate the room, like I hate them.
They disgust me.
And that should be applied to any stat, not just charisma.
Yeah, I was just
Like,
thinking that.
low strength. Oh, you can't open that jar of peaches.
Weakling.
Get the fuck out of here.
Stop beating the
Careful,
shit out of me.
careful about that. Yo, we all have real low strength. We're like
I'll
one,
have you know-
-1 and -2 between us.
Bradicus has a strength of 8,
Yeah.
which is -2, I think.
I hate you.
Yeah.
It is really funny because My read of the situation is that the DM just really didn't like this player.
Yeah, I'm doing that too. Yeah. How about everything hates you because I hate you? Haha.
It's like, why is everybody being so mean to me? Because your charisma score.
And not at all
Lowest
because I hate you.
Yeah.
That's why.
Which is like kind of an alpha move, to be honest.
I mean,
It
leaving
sounds
the
like you're-
campaign, leaving the campaign is also semi-alpha.
No,
It's
that's
taking
pretty
charge.
Sigma,
It's Sigma as
actually,
hell. Yeah.
I am not
That's-
familiar with it. Going down to that level.
Sigma is not that related, but I watched like a video on like Sigmas the other day, and
God.
it's like like insane. It's like so scary that people are walking around being like, I'm a Sigma, because it's like school shooter vibes.
Do you not do that?
Oh,
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah.
well. Bye.
I'm just such a Sigma.
Don't show up to the podcast studio tomorrow.
Oh my god.
No, but like this guy, yeah, I think that this guy just hates him. I'll be honest. I think this guy just hates this.
I think it's really funny, actually.
I think it's
That-
awesome.
I think it would be so funny if just everyone hates you because you have a slightly below average charisma. You're
pretty
just
funny.
like the most despised person in this town.
I know, but you could lean into it and just be an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, make your character an asshole. No one said that they couldn't be an asshole.
I think you should do the opposite.
You
Just
know,
be
when you
really
meet people
kind.
because you're going to go on a campaign with them, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm a good guy." Psych. Like, I'm a dick.
I double down in the other direction. Just be like the most amiable, kind person there is, and just
And people still treat you like shit.
Yeah, I
revel
think-
in the fact that no one seems to have a sense of morality in this world.
Yeah. I definitely think that's the funniest approach.
Just treat it
be
like
really
a
nice.
language barrier.
Yeah.
You called me a dick, and I thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think like this and in the previous complaints sort of highlights why I enjoy that it like this is like a comedy,
Yeah.
you know, a comedy D&D, and you know, we've got funny people because like something like this wouldn't necessarily be a barrier. Like
No,
everyone
that's what I was
hates you.
thinking. Yeah.
Great. Like this is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
How can we spin this?
It's just a bit.
Yeah.
Like here's the weapon which is clearly for you, and Bradicus now has a great sword.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then I'm just over here like lusting after that sword. Like, oh, Bradicus, is that sword too heavy for you with your -2 strength? I take it.
That's the thing. I mean, like all of these games, there's just like so much tension.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody is just having a terrible time. Like,
It's like the worst parts of like high office politics.
yeah.
Yes.
It's just like this weird like knives in the dark, like hatreds within the group.
It's such a shame because, you know, for so many people, they just love TTRPGs so much, and they just want to
Yeah.
be able to play them, and they'll suffer for anything they can to
Yeah.
play D&D because not everyone has
Well, I think
You know you're ruining it for me, right? Like, how would I ever go from this to a non-comedy D&D situation? I can't.
You
What?
just got to turn it into its own little comedy, you know?
Naturally.
Naturally. I think also, just as a little like side note, a lot of these I think come from people playing D&D online.
yeah,
Like looking for groups of people that they don't know to play, just to be part of a D&D game. And I think
Yeah.
that's where a lot of problems tend to stem from. Because if you're in a group of people that you're friends with and you trust, you can tend to have a good time just doing anything.
yeah.
And it's hard to come across a truly terrible experience without, you know, it getting resolved. I think that the second story is kind of unique in that they've been playing for ages and there's still this horror story
That's-
from it.
That's the thing is you never, you know, obviously, yeah, the people playing online, they're vulnerable, they're desperate, but you know, never forget that your wife can just be
turn on you in an instant.
turn on you in a dime.
You're
Well,
nothing.
Because she hates your life choices.
before we wrap up this this episode, we got to get a final. Does this guy fuck? Oh, and I'm locking in. Yeah, brother. I think this guy fucks. This guy does not settle for anything less.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying. He's like, I'm out of here, bitches.
No, I think.
Wait,
the
which
DM,
guy- which
the
is the
DM
guy?
The
Yeah.
guy
The guy
who,
is the DM.
The DM who thinks that
Everyone.
everybody hates this person
Yeah.
for having charisma 8. I think that guy fucks.
I think that guy
Well,
fucks
the
too.
DM.
I'm down for it. I agree. I
Yeah.
think it's really funny.
I think it's awesome.
Because 8 is not even that low. Like, that's such a mild, slightly below
'Cause-
average stat.
This guy was just like, oh, like he's ugly.
He's despicable.
He's got a charisma of 8. That means he's fugly, and people hate fugly ass people in my world. This is what I would do. All my hot NPCs would beat the shit out of you guys if you were all 3s.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this guy fucks. I think he has a charisma 8, though.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. So real DM, real low charisma.
But he still
fucks.
fucks.
He still fucks, though.
Yeah, he manages to get it done.
Position of power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's feeling confident.
He's just
confident
like-
enough to introduce every NPC as just hating on one guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna say
Checks out. I'd say so too then.
you hate to see it, but this guy fucks.
Yeah.
A unanimous this guy
We hate
fucks.
to give it to him, but this guy fucks. Well, Rachel, are you saying this guy fucks?
Yeah, I'm saying it.
Yeah, this guy fucks. You know,
Yeah.
He's coming in with
Dom,
confidence.
You took it home.
we brought it
Hey.
home.
Honestly, that's what the player gets for playing a character with low charisma.
Yeah.
Loser.
And let that be a lesson to all of you to end on is never put charisma as your dump stat.
Never.
Always max out charisma.
You've got to be hot.
You gotta be hot.
Everyone will hate you.
Well, that's it for this episode of RPG Horror Stories.
That's our moral of the story. Something to think about. You
yeah.
know?
Choose hot as your race.
Choose
Choose
hot as
hot.
your race.
Deadbeat
Powerful
D&D.
words to live by.
That was a Bass Jump Comedy original. It's cooked.